In the past 100 years, the focus of American parenting has changed dramatically. Psychologists have conducted surveys of American parents over time, looking at which values are the most important to them. In 1929, parents rated strict obedience above any other value. In other words, the dominant parenting style of the time would have been authoritarian. Children were expected to obey. They were also expected to learn loyalty to church and country, as well as good manners. Children were expected to grow up quickly and take on adult responsibilities at a young age. Not surprisingly, the surveys in 1978 found a completely different mindset. Parents of the 70s said they valued teaching tolerance above all else. They wanted their children to be independent and social-minded thinkers. The permissive parenting style had become the most popular, no doubt, in response to the social movements of the time and the influence of the humanists. By 1997, parents were most focused on thriftiness, hard work, and academic achievement. Parents wanted their kids to be achievers, and they were less concerned about obedience or tolerance. It's hard to say exactly which parenting style this fits. It could be authoritative or authoritarian, depending on how the message is delivered. The changes in parenting styles had a large impact on the development of their children. By the 1970s, the teen years had taken on more significance as a stage of life, and children were not expected to take on responsibilities as early. The teen years became a time to find yourself. In the 1990s, that changed again. Adolescence was no longer about finding yourself, but about preparing yourself to be competitive. Adolescence stretched into young adulthood, and parenthood has been pushed back to the 30s. Another major change from the beginning to the end of the 20th century was the parental and societal influence on gender roles. When you read the PDF version of I'm Glad I'm a Boy, I'm Glad I'm a Girl, you will get a little glimpse into the world of boys and girls in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Gender roles were very well defined in the U.S., and they were reinforced in households, public schools, and the larger society. Men were expected to be strong, to work hard, and to support their families. Women were expected to be dependent, even deferential, and if they chose to work, it would be only in certain helping fields. Their primary job was to get married, raise children, and take care of all the household chores, such as cooking and cleaning. Family roles have changed dramatically in the last 50 years. In the area of housework, for example, men's contributions have gone up from 12 hours a week in 1965 to 16 now, which is not a huge change, but women's contributions have declined from 40 hours a week to 27, meaning just less housework is getting done. More significantly, men's contribution to childcare tripled between 1965 and 2003. These changing gender roles are passed on to children through social learning. Although we know men and women are not the same, the most obvious example being that only women can give birth and breastfeed, their potential roles are converging in society today. Women are taking on more leadership roles and earning higher incomes, and more men are becoming primary caregivers for their children. Many men and women are now more androgynous, meaning they possess both masculine and feminine traits. Still, many social forces reinforce age-old gender roles. Magazines and TV ads depict women doing the housework and loving it. Many stay-at-home dads said they find it difficult to fit in with neighborhood playgroups and PTAs, so they feel isolated. Children and teenagers today receive dramatically different messages about what it means to be a man or woman, and this can make the negotiations of adult relationships even more complex. As you read I'm Glad I'm a Boy and the USA Today article on role reversal in preparation for the forum, think about this. In your ideal world, what would men be like? What would women be like? What messages would you give your own sons and daughters about what it means to be men and women?